Welcome to AR Tales. Today's story is about a man whose girlfriend told him he was replaceable while quietly using his savings and reputation as the foundation of her collapsing business. As you listen, think about the moment where you would have stopped supporting her. You are replaceable. You know that. Men like you are everywhere. My girlfriend Tina said this to me on a Friday night while I was paying our bills. She was still in her flower shop apron, petals stuck to the fabric, scrolling through her phone like she had not just said something that cut straight through me. Then she laughed, grabbed her keys, and left. A few petals fell to the floor as the door closed. I am Gino, 33, senior systems engineer in Denver. I solve problems for a living. When something breaks in a system, I do not panic. I trace the failure point. That night, staring at our bank statement, I had already found it. $19,000 were gone from our shared savings. When I asked where it went, Tina barely glanced up from her phone. I reinvested it into the shop, she said. It is our future, Gino. But when I asked for details, her tone sharpened. Do you have to treat everything like a corporate audit? She snapped. I am building something real here. Then she said the line I could not stop replaying. You are replaceable. Men like you are everywhere. She said it like she was describing the weather. For 2 years, I had been quietly funding her dream, Bloom Theory. Her boutique flower shop known for wedding arrangements and pretty photos. I am not talking about splitting groceries. I am talking about rent top-ups in slow months, supply orders when cash was tight, ad campaigns to boost her reach, utilities that somehow ended up in my name. I never made a spreadsheet or kept score. I thought we were building our future together. But apparently I was just infrastructure, replaceable infrastructure. The next morning, Saturday, I told her I would come help at the shop. She looked surprised, maybe a little guilty, but she said sure. I spent the afternoon in the back room doing what I do best, organizing. That is when I found the invoices, not flower invoices, not the kind that keep a business alive. $8,000 for a brand identity refresh and social media content shoots. Professional photographers following her around the shop for lifestyle content. $4,000 for personal growth and business leadership workshops. $3,000 more on networking events and influencer collaborations. Meanwhile, the actual operational invoices were buried underneath, stamped in red, overdue. Her floral wholesaler had not been paid in 6 weeks. Mrs. Patel, her landlord, had sent 2 rent notices. I walked to the flower coolers in the back, half empty. The roses that should have been there for Monday's orders were missing. The pieces she had promised a bride were not there. The shop was running on fumes. This is the part a lot of people never see. From the outside, it looks like chasing a dream. Up close, you can tell the numbers do not support the image. That night, I could not sleep. Around midnight, I opened Instagram, something I rarely do. Tina had completely rebranded. The shop's account was now secondary. Her personal profile was front and center with a new bio. Tina Bloom, lifestyle and floral artistry for women who deserve more. The feed was full of polished shots of her in expensive outfits, holding bouquets like accessories. The captions were about breaking free from limitations, investing in yourself, not settling. The likes and comments were people cheering for a story that was being paid for with money they did not know existed. I sat in the dark living room, laptop glowing. My hands were steady. My mind was clear. I opened the Notes app on my phone and typed a title for a new file. Project Wilt. If I was replaceable, I wanted to run an experiment. What happens to a flower shop when you remove the person who has been watering it all along? Not out of revenge, out of curiosity, out of self-respect. I wrote 2 lines. Step 1, stop watering. Step 2, document everything. I did not know yet how deep it went or how much she had been using me as collateral. My credit score, my corporate email for legitimacy with vendors, my employee discount codes, even my work calendar, which she had somehow accessed to pitch her shop as an insider vendor to my company. I was not just replaceable. I was being used, and she had said it to my face like it was nothing. On Monday morning, I took the first step. I visited Mrs. Patel, the landlord for Tina's shop. We sat in her small office behind the strip of stores. She is experienced and calm, the kind of person who has seen every version of it will be fine. I told her I needed to withdraw as lease guarantor. She nodded, made notes, and said she would notify Tina that the lease would require renegotiation or a new guarantor within 30 days. Then I went home and went through every bill I had been paying for the shop, utilities that were somehow under my account. I called each company and removed my name, transferring the responsibility back to the business. Supplier invoices I had been covering out of my own account. I sent polite emails saying I would not be extending further personal credit, the insurance policy where I had added her. I removed her, effective immediately. I did not sabotage anything. I just stopped being the foundation. Sometimes, stepping back is not an attack. It is simply ending unpaid support. Tina did not notice at first. She was busy with her rebrand and her new, independent image. On Tuesday, she posted a photo with a caption about cutting dead weight so you can grow stronger. I knew exactly who she meant. I did not comment. Several mutual followers probably connected the dots. On Wednesday, an email arrived in our shared home inbox. She had been using it for overflow business messages. It was from her floral wholesaler. Account on hold until outstanding balance of $6,200 is cleared. No further deliveries authorized. I heard her voice from the bedroom as she called them. It shifted through 3 modes in 5 minutes. First, charm. I have been such a loyal customer. Then, frustration. This is just a small cash flow issue. Finally, desperation. I have a wedding Saturday, please. They did not budge. Payment before delivery. Standard. She had to scramble. Thursday morning, she drove to 3 retail flower suppliers, paying full retail pricing instead of wholesale. She still pulled off beautiful wedding arrangements. She is genuinely talented, but the profit was gone. On a job that should have netted about $2,000, she maybe cleared $200. That night, she posted an Instagram story about supply chain issues hitting small businesses hard and urged people to support local. The comments were sympathetic. Nobody knew the supply chain issue was non-payment. On Friday, her cousin Marcy, the influencer with 60,000 followers, posted a big wedding collaboration, tagging Bloom Theory. Perfect exposure. At first, the comments were praise, then they shifted. I emailed 3 times about my order. No response. Deposit cashed, delivery canceled. What is going on with this business? Are you still operating? I watched Tina spend the evening glued to her phone, deleting critical comments, blocking users, posting defensive replies about being a small business under attack. Eventually, Marcy deleted the post entirely. Saturday morning, Mrs. Patel knocked on our apartment door. Tina had not been answering her calls. They spoke in the living room while I made coffee in the kitchen. I could hear every word. Without a guarantor, Mrs. Patel explained she would need 2 months' rent as additional security or a new guarantor by next Friday. Tina tried to negotiate. "Cannot we just keep things as they were?" she asked. "Your previous guarantor has withdrawn," Mrs. Patel said. "That changes the terms." After she left, Tina turned to me. It was the first real conversation we had had in a week. "Can you just cover it until I sort things out?" she asked. "Please." I looked at her over my coffee mug. "I thought I was replaceable," I said. Her face shifted, anger first, then panic, then something harder. "So this is punishment," she said. "This is how you handle a fight." "This is not punishment," I said. "I am just not participating anymore." "That is the same thing." "No," I said. "It is really not." She grabbed her keys and left for the shop, stayed there until midnight. On Sunday, she was on her phone constantly, texting people, asking for loans. That night, I heard her on the phone with Marcy, low and angry, saying words like betrayal and men who cannot handle strong women. On Monday at work, my coworker Eric stopped by my desk. He works in procurement, handles vendor relationships. "Hey, weird question," he said. "Did you know Tina pitched her shop as an exclusive floral partner for our corporate events?" I put down my coffee. What? I asked. He turned his monitor toward me. On the screen was a polished proposal, using our company's brand guidelines. Bloom Theory, preferred vendor with insider corporate connections. It referenced specific upcoming events, retirement parties, client dinners, events that were on my work calendar. A calendar I had shared with her early on when we were coordinating schedules. She had described herself as having relationships with key decision makers and included mock-ups using our internal design templates. The same templates I had access to on my laptop at home. Eric looked uncomfortable. "It is flagged for conflict of interest review," he said. "Thought you should know before compliance reaches out." I stared at the screen. She had not just spent our savings. She had been using my professional access, my credibility, my company's name, all without asking, all while telling me I was nothing special. I forwarded the whole proposal to our ethics and compliance team with a short email. This vendor used my access and information without authorization. I was unaware of this proposal and do not endorse it. Not revenge, self-preservation. The rejection came back Tuesday. Proposal declined due to misrepresentation of vendor status and unauthorized use of corporate materials and information. That is when things accelerated in a way I did not plan. Someone in procurement, I still do not know who, posted in a local business networking Facebook group. A general warning about vendors misrepresenting corporate connections. No names at first, just a caution. Then someone asked for details. Another member, one of Tina's suppliers who recognized the situation, added screenshots. Unpaid invoices, bounced checks, emails where Tina promised payment by Friday 8 weeks in a row. The thread title changed. Bloom Theory, pretty pictures, unpaid bills. Denver's small business community is tight, especially in the wedding world. Florists, photographers, venues planners, they all talk. More suppliers started sharing their experiences, not just late payments, stories about how Tina had told them she had backing from a tech company and would pay once corporate contracts came through. She used my employment as a kind of fake guarantee. Her Instagram comments turned into a fight zone. Every aesthetic post about empowerment and self-investment had replies asking about unpaid invoices. At first, she tried to respond. She claimed she was a victim of coordinated harassment by people who could not stand a successful woman. Then someone posted a photo of a bounced check with her signature. Within hours, she set her profile to private. Then she deactivated it. Last Tuesday, she showed up at my office. Security called me to come down to the lobby. She was there in business casual clothes trying to look put together. But I could see the dark circles under her makeup. Her hands were shaking. "We need to talk," she said. I suggested we go outside. We sat on a bench in the plaza, Denver in early spring, cold and bright. "This has destroyed me," she said. "My reputation, my business, everything I built." "I did not destroy anything," I said quietly. "I stopped building it for you. There is a difference." "You leaked information," she said. "You turned people against me." "I documented a conflict of interest at my workplace," I said. "That is all. What happened after that was consequence." She stared at me. "Do you even care that I am losing everything?" she asked. "Do you care that you called me replaceable after 2 years of me keeping your dream alive?" I said. "Do you care that you used my job and my savings without asking?" She looked away. "I was building our future," she said. "You were building your image," I answered. "There is a difference." She did not respond. She stood up and left. I watched her walk to her car. I did not feel proud or victorious. I just felt tired. On Sunday, the Denver Bridal Expo took place. Tina had paid for a booth. Eric's fiancée was there and sent me updates. Tina reintroduced Bloom Theory with a new spin. New banners, new samples. Bloom Theory reborn. She was trying to do damage control in person since online was gone. Around 2 in the afternoon, the Expo's finance coordinator walked up to her booth with a tablet. Her payment for the booth had bounced, in front of other vendors, in front of brides and families walking past. The coordinator asked her to settle the fee immediately or pack up. Tina tried to say it was a bank error, offered to wire the money. The coordinator was polite but firm. Expo policy, pay or leave. So she packed her materials while people watched, carried boxes out to her car alone, left through a side door. That evening, Eric texted me a photo. He had driven past the shop. The Bloom Theory sign was gone. Brown paper covered the windows. A small notice on the door read, "Property reclamation due to lease termination." I went by the next morning. He was right. The storefront where 2 years of my income had gone was now an empty shell. I sat in my car looking at it. I did not feel angry anymore. I felt something smaller, like the quiet when an alarm finally stops. Tina moved out of our apartment on Wednesday. Her cousin came with a truck. They took her things while I was at work. When I got home, half the closets were empty. On the counter was a note in her handwriting. "You were right about one thing. I did care more about being seen than seeing you, but you were wrong about another. You are not replaceable. You are irreplaceable." And I threw that away. "I hope whoever you water next actually grows." I read it twice. Then I put it in a drawer. It was not closure, but it was the first honest thing she had written in a long time. The apartment became very quiet, not empty, clean. No more anxiety about bills I should not be paying. No more wondering how much she had charged this time. No more feeling like a support beam in someone else's show. A few weeks later, Eric mentioned a new flower shop that had opened 3 blocks from where Bloom Theory used to be. His fiancée had ordered from them for a birthday. "Beautiful arrangements," he said. "Reliable, fair prices." The shop was called Wild and Rooted. Saturday afternoon, the weather was finally warm, that first day where you remember why you live in Colorado. I decided to walk over. The window display stopped me. Gorgeous arrangements mixing wild and structured elements. Ranunculus with thistle. Garden roses with eucalyptus. It looked like someone understood both art and logistics. I noticed the font. Hand-lettered style similar to what Tina once wanted but cleaner. Under it was the tagline, "Growth starts after you let go." I went inside. The coolers were full, fresh, organized by type and color. The back workbench was tidy, not covered in unopened bills. The owner was helping a customer with centerpieces. When she finished and turned to me, I recognized her. Sarah. She had been Tina's assistant for the last 4 months of Bloom Theory, the one who actually handled the orders and schedules while Tina filmed content. She recognized me too and smiled, not awkward, just normal. "Gino," she said, "I wondered if you would stop by." "This is yours?" I asked, glancing around. "Yeah," she said. "Mrs. Patel gave me a good deal on the space when Bloom Theory's lease ended. I bought some of the remaining inventory. Fresh start." She gestured around the shop. "Turns out actually knowing how to run a flower business matters more than having perfect Instagram lighting." I laughed, a real laugh this time. "It looks incredible," I said. "Thanks," she said. I learned a lot about what not to do. Tina had vision. She just forgot that vision needs foundation. You cannot build something sustainable on aesthetics alone. There was no venom in her voice, just truth. I ordered a bouquet of deep purple dahlias. She wrapped them carefully and charged me a reasonable price. As I was leaving, she said, "For what it is worth, you pulling back probably kept her from going even deeper into debt. Sometimes the kindest thing is letting someone fail fast instead of propping them up for years." I thought about that all the way home. The next morning, I went to the farmer's market on the east side. I was not looking for Tina, but she was there. She was working at a booth selling handmade candles. She looked different, tired but not collapsed. Hair pulled back simply. No photographer, no curated set, just a person working a table. She saw me before I could decide whether to turn away. Our eyes met across the path. She stepped out from behind the booth. "Gino," she said. "Tina," I replied. There was a long pause. Market sounds filled it. A vendor calling about fresh bread. Kids laughing, music from a busker. "You really just let it all die," she said quietly. Not angry, almost like a question to herself. "I just stopped pretending it was alive," I said. "There is a difference." She flinched a little, then nodded. Yeah, she said, that is fair. She looked back at the candles. I am working for Marcy's friend, she said, making these, selling them. It is honest work, no pretense. That is good, I said, and I meant it. She looked back at me. You were right, you know, she said, about what I cared about what I was building. I was so focused on looking successful that I forgot to actually be successful. I did not know what to say for a moment. She kept going. I told you that you were replaceable, she said. That was probably the stupidest thing I have ever said. You were not replaceable, you were essential, and I treated you like infrastructure instead of a partner. Yeah, I said, you did. I am sorry, she said. I know it does not fix anything, but I need to say it. I nodded. I appreciate that, I said. A customer walked up to her booth. She glanced back. I should go, she said. Yeah. She started to turn away, then stopped. For what it is worth, she said, I hope you find someone who sees you, really sees you, not just what you can provide. I hope you figure out what you actually want to build, I said, not for an audience. For yourself, she smiled, sad but real. Working on it, she said. I left the market and stopped by Wild and Rooted on the way home. I bought another arrangement, tulips and anemones this time. Sarah wrapped them and asked if they were a gift. Yeah, I said, for my apartment. Some of the best flowers go there, she said. Those are the ones that last longest. Now they sit in a vase on my kitchen table, a bright spot in a clean space I am building for me. I water them every other day, just what they need. No more, no less. Here is what I took away from all of this. Lesson 1. If someone tells you to your face that you are replaceable while quietly relying on you to hold their life together, believe what their actions say, not their slogans. Lesson 2. A partner who spends shared savings and your reputation without honest discussion is not building a future with you. They are building an image on top of you. Lesson 3. Stopping unfair support is not punishment. It is a boundary. It is the difference between helping and enabling. Lesson 4. Your job, your credit, and your name are not community property just because you are in a relationship. Protect them, even when you are in love. Lesson 5. Sometimes letting something fail is kinder than propping it up for years while it drains you dry. Lesson 6. The right people will see you as a person, not as infrastructure. They will want to build with you, not on you. What about you? At what point in this story would you have stopped funding the shop? And do you think quietly stepping back the way he did was fair, or would you have handled it differently?